Básicamente, entonces, por las dudas que la parte esa no se hubiera entendido, él dice todas las células de su cuerpo son iguales y tienen el mismo ADN, todas, nada más que expresan diferentes genes en diferentes partes por ejemplo, en el hígado se expresan diferentes genes que en la piel. De ahí que hay diferencias, pero el genoma es el mismo, es el único y es diferente que el de cada uno de las personas, pero dentro del mismo organismo hay diferentes expresiones génicas, ¿no? Que ahí es donde entra lo que se expresa o se transcribe o lo que se llama la transcriptómica, ¿no? Genómica, transcriptómica. Solo para los que no entienden tanto el inglés, quizás redondear un poco el concepto.
Gracias, Francisco. Just to make you understand how complicated is this kind of studies, we first have to do genomics, and so we first have to identify the DNA and to read the DNA of a single organism, and then we have to understand what there is written there. And just to read the genome, consider the effort for sequencing the human genome. To sequence the human genome, it took 13 years to a consortium that was made by groups all over the world. Italy did not participate because we didn't have any money. And we paid that gap for several years because by not participating to that project, we did not build a new generation of genomicists in Italy. Then we have been lucky because with the grapevine, we have been able to get into the genomic business and to start also teaching to our new people this technology. And also look not only the time required for this effort, but also the cost, $3 billion to sequence the first genome. The information that we took out of it was very much important. We found that the Neanderthal is part of our DNA. We have between 1 and 4% of the information coming from Neanderthals, so for sure there has been some cross between the two species, and the number of genes, so the number of instructions that we have, that was estimated to be about 700,000, 700.000, with the sequence of the human genome.
700.000 genes, ¿no? Era calculado, estimado. En realidad,
well, now, after the genome sequence, we realized that in the human genome there are 22,000 genes.
22.000 genes en el genoma humano hoy, ¿no? Reales.
So you understand the importance of having the sequence. Without that, we could not get information about the genes that are in our body. And if you don't understand how the machine works, it's very difficult to find something to repair the machine, right, when we are sick. Or in the case of other organs, how to improve it. So the time required for sequencing and the cost so high for sequencing the human genome was due to the technology that was used at that time, the sequencing technology that was invented in the early 70s, and one of these instruments cost around $200,000 and is able to produce a very small amount of information. So in order to decode one human genome, this instrument requires 15,000 days. So you can reduce the time by buying more instruments, but you have to spend a huge amount of money, okay? And so because of that, you realize that very few centers in the world had the technology to sequence a human genome until a few years ago. And because of that, you can see in this slide the gap between the first human genome sequencing and the second. The second human genome has been sequenced 7 years later in 2008. So it has been like going to the moon, you know. First time you do your best in order to go there, but before to go there the second time, you try to improve the technology and to reduce the cost very much. And in these 7 years, the technology improved very much and is still improving dramatically. So with the new technology, it was possible to sequence the first real single individual, because the human genome is a mix of nice guy, bad guy, happy person, bad person, brown, blue eye, and so on. It's a mix of information in order to have a representation of the Rossignol. Because I thought that my voice was strong enough. Okay, so you can see already 7 years later, 2 months and $2 million compared to the 13 years and 3 billion of 7 years before. And now, this is a slide of last year. In 2010, this is the second case of a patient with a disease that has been sequenced in order to in order to identify the reason for the disease. This baby boy had 100 surgeries in just 1 year, no hope. At a certain point, they decided to sequence it, they found the mutation, and this guy is now going at school. So they solved the problem in 2 weeks with about $30,000. So you see an astonishing improvement of the technology.
O sea, en 10 años pasó de un costo inviable a un genoma humano hoy cuesta menos de $30.000.
Today it costs
$10.000.
less than 10,000.
O sea, uno podría secuenciar más fácilmente a la medida que la tecnología sigue evolucionando.
Verona, that was the introduction part. I now move into the grapevine part. I'm coming from Verona, this is Italy, and this is Verona. It's very close to Venice, 1 hour by train. So we have the Romeo and Juliet balcony, it's a fantastic city, and we also have this fantastic wine. A bottle of this wine, Amarone, can cost $500 or 500 euros, so more dollar. So it's a very much expensive, less known probably than the Barolo, but I can tell you that when Berlusconi was not doing something strange, that was doing his job and visiting presidents of other countries, he was bringing bottles of Amarone as a gift, not as a Barolo, because this is our most important, I would say, and good wine. It's made through a very particular process that we call appassimento. So we leave the berries for 3 months on a shelf in order to rest. And during this period, this terrible grapevine produces a fantastic product. So if you make the wine without this period of withering, the quality of the wine is very bad, or actually it's not good. After 3 months, it's spectacular. The problem is that winemakers, they don't know why the wine is coming so well.
O sea, él lo que quiso decir ahí que la producción del Amarone es muy trabajosa porque hay que secar las uvas al aire, bajo techo, pero al aire, y eso hace pasitas que permiten después hacer un vino más concentrado, que es un producto muy caro. Él dice que solo lo supera los Barolo, Barbaresco, que es la variedad de Nebbiolo en el Piamonte, pero que por ejemplo Berlusconi prefiere regalar a Amarone cuando va al exterior. No sé qué le habrá encontrado a Amarone. Entonces es un ejemplo que él da de un vino que puede costar 500 euros la botella, por ejemplo, un Amarone bueno, muy famoso.
Anyway, in Verona, that was around 2005, okay, a few years ago. The winemakers were already afraid that they had to compete on the international market. And the competition, they expected to become stronger and stronger every year. The problem of the competition is that now several countries are using the best technology. So it's very difficult to improve a product just based on the technology, because technology is already very high. The only way to improve the quality of the product at this point is to improve the initial product, so the grapevine. The problem, and this is Giorgio Pasqua, a winemaker from Verona, one of the biggest producers of that area, kept telling us, you know, Massimo, the grape varieties are more than 200 years old. There is no breeding on that. In this field. So we keep using the same varieties, but the problem is more the fact that, you know, for us, producing good wine is more an art than science. So producing a good grape is not based on science. So we should get more information about how to control the engine, so how to control the grape during berry formation.